This meeting is called to order at 5:02 p.m. Councilor Deere, would you please bless us?
Father, let's get together today and continue working for the Cherokee people. Amen.
Thank you. Would you please do roll call, Gail?
Keith Austin,
Here.
Joshua Sam, Danny Callison, Julia Coates, Sean Crittenden, Joe Deere,
Aye.
Mike Dobbins, Rex Jordan, Johnny Kidwell, Darrell Legg, Wes Snowfire, Dora Paskowski, Mike Shambaugh, Lavonda Shot Pouch, E.O. Smith, Canessa Teehee, Victoria Vasquez. You have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of the February 23rd regular meeting. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. All right, that passes. Now we'll move on to reports, and I see it's good to actually have Chuck Garrett in the room with us. Thank you, Chuck. Good to see you.
Thank you, Chairman. I appreciate that. Appreciate the opportunity to report to the council this month. Due to the off-cycle of this meeting, our financials for the month haven't come out. So the last month's meeting I was reporting on the same number. So I can tell you though, just from my understanding and work with the accounting team, we have continued to have an excellent month and last 6 weeks on the gaming side. Really strong. It's interesting, with interest rates, with inflation, one would start to be concerned about, are folks going to continue to spend money at the casinos? It's been our observation, and, listen, last week I was on the phone with the American Gaming Association committee that I serve on, and talking to vendors and other operators, and you may have seen the gaming industry continues to be on fire. I mean, it has set records last year, and the momentum is strong. So, knock on wood, we're still keeping close eye on any signs of a slowdown so that we can react accordingly. But so far, so good, and we're just continuing to work hard in marketing. I think, our competitors are feeling the heat. So we're excited to continue to deliver there. One thing I wanted to address before hitting a couple other points, something that you all have been reading about and watching on TV in the last 3 or 4 days. Silicon Valley Bank, the SVB Bank, now Signature Bank in New York, having gone down, and the government stepping in to make the depositors whole, which is certainly going to contain some of the spillover. But I also just wanted to provide some assurance to you that as in our Treasury policy, and the Treasurer would know this quite well also, we don't put your money, the Cherokee people's money, in some sort of aggressive high yield funds. They go in a AAA short-term U.S. government bond, essentially. So unless the U.S. government defaults, our money is safe. What you are seeing now, we'll see how widespread, if there are people that are concerned about financial institutions and the run on the bank, so to speak. But what we invest in is the safest thing that exists, which is AAA U.S. government securities. They're not synthetic securities. They're not, mortgage-backed securities. They're U.S. bonds. Now, we have banking relationships, of course, with several banks in the country, Bank of Oklahoma, Key Bank, to name a couple, Bank of America, to name another. And we have different depository arrangements with them, which are all collateralized by the bank's balance sheets. So these are the largest of the largest. These are not, regional banks. These are national banks, money center banks. And so I just want to provide that assurance for you. And we'll continue to monitor it because it has implications other parts of the economy, but your money's safe. Last 2 weeks ago, I guess now, we announced the acquisition of Criterion Systems. You all received a notification from me, but I wanted to provide just a little more background on what that company does. It is a strategic partner for a lot of different federal governmental agencies, especially in the defense world. It's all cybersecurity, so it's very, very technical. It's highly in demand, that service, as our world has become more complicated and cybersecurity has become more of an issue. These are about 450 true experts in the field. And so we'll add that depth of skill to our already substantial skill set and be a more of a full-service solution for different departments within intelligence departments and otherwise within the Department of Defense and other agencies. Again, it's our effort to diversify our businesses, and we're quite proud of the acquisition. Look forward to having some really good results. I want to coordinate with the chairman for the next couple of meetings. I'd like to bring a couple of other of our businesses to have a little more of an extended review so that you all have opportunities to ask questions and hear from the leaders of those businesses. Being spring break this week, it was a little bit hard to get everything organized, but we'll get that done. And if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I'll consult with you and see if there are particular priorities to hear from.
Between now and August, I'm going to be very, very cooperative.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Well, beyond that, I think that's really my report. Happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
Do we have any questions? Joe?
Just real quick on Gold Strike.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We're fully, at this point, fully integrating. So we've got, both on the HR side, on the accounting side, on the compliance side, we are fully integrated, on calls with the leadership team there several times throughout the week as we just continue to get our processes and procedures implemented. Great weekend, strong performance this weekend. We're going to be going down there on the 29th. I'll be back down there with some more of our team. Mark Fulton is there today, and we'll be there for the next 2 or 3 weeks. It's a big operation. It's 1,100 employees, over 1,000 hotel rooms. So, one thing I wanted to mention about Gold Strike, and it's a source of pride, and I don't think I mentioned this last time, but hopefully it's a source of pride for everyone in the room. We're the first and only Native American tribe in Oklahoma with a commercial gaming license. And that may not sound like a big deal, but it is a big deal. It's a big deal for lots of reasons. One, they're hard to get. I mean, for one thing, the vetting that goes on of the management team, the organization. You have investigators that I was interviewed by, Mark Fulton was interviewed by, that get deep into our personal information, but also the companies, you know, in terms of their own investigation and audit of our operations, our financial status. And so I think we can all be proud of that, and creates a lot of opportunities.
Well, I know that currently we operate under the NIGC.
Mhm.
We operate under the Oklahoma Horse Racing Commission and now the Mississippi Regulatory Authority. So we're getting to where we have substantial experience with different types of entities,
Right.
regulating entities. And I think that's will serve us well as we go forward, because all of our experience is not in one bucket.
Right. No, that's absolutely right. And, you know, the team that we have built around the compliance is really, really an impressive group of individuals. And so they are as good as it gets in the gaming business.
Thank you. Anything, Julia?
Mr. Garrett, is this the only time you're going to be with us today? Are you going to be here tonight?
I'll be here this evening as well.
Okay, can I catch you for a moment before
Oh, of
we
course,
start tonight?
absolutely.
Thank you.
You bet.
Mr. Garrett, thank you for being here today. I truly appreciate it. Thanks for everything that you guys are doing over there at CNB. I've got just a couple of things.
Sure.
First, at one point do you think we'll start seeing the financials stemming from Gold Strike, Mega Tower consolidated reports? Just a guess. But and I'll let you answer that. Then I've got one more thing for
Sure.
you.
So we'll have two cycles from now. You'll start to see some standalone financial statements, and then we'll be consolidating either within that second cycle or the third cycle. We'll have a consolidated financial as well, so that you all will be receiving that with your normal monthly package.
Okay, all right, I appreciate that, thank you. And one last thing, you talked about banks earlier, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, but we had a conversation just earlier here in council chambers about, maybe another leg of CNB or associated businesses getting into banking. Would you mind opining on that just for a minute and just give us your thoughts on whether I know at one point in time you had a long-term plan. You were talking about, where we might be going in the future. Did that show up on the crosshairs anywhere in there? And what do you think about that?
Well, we have looked at a financial institution, owning a financial institution, whether it's a bank or a savings and loan, a credit union, for a number of years and off and on. And it wasn't that long ago we took a very, very deep dive into a particular institution with the eye towards an acquisition. As we've learned with SVB, I mean, they're not risk-free, and they are not without a certain degree of complexity. When we look at where we have competitive advantages, financial institutions aren't one. Now, they kind of make everybody feel good. It's kind of nice to own a bank, and you kind of, stick your chest out a little bit. But when we really look at competing head-to-head against a Bank of Oklahoma, Bank of America, an Armstrong Bank even, we just don't have a competitive advantage. Now, we've looked at some mortgage programs that serve Native Americans, and those are interesting and attractive. You don't have to have a bank to do that. You basically, where the value is created is finding Cherokee citizens that want to be a homeowner or maybe are a homeowner that have financing needs and putting them in touch with the right institution. Chickasaws have a bank. I think it's depending on your criteria, it's been moderately successful, So it's something that I think is not a high priority for us, but it is, let's don't rule that out either.
Julia?
Thank you for the extra question here. Occurred to me something, and I was just following up on this, and I don't pretend to know much of anything at all about banking, but is there a model that might not place competitiveness and profit and all of that at the forefront? And I know that's probably anathema to CFB, but is there a model for banking that would have service to the nation and its people as sort of its end goal, rather than profit, competition, et cetera? And I'm thinking about things like micro-lending, for instance, for projects, that might be very sustainable, that might be, just, what I mean. I'm just kind of, for other people,
Right.
perhaps, but
I think what you're describing is more akin to a credit union than it is, necessarily a regional bank, for example, or even, where you get some education, some financial literacy, focus. You have a little bit more of a community focus. Again, that is something that, you have to scale to a certain degree to get some operating efficiencies and to manage the P&L, because, credit unions can lose money. And so it becomes a little bit of a chicken and egg. But I think what you're describing is more of a credit union. It could be, some sort of other lending platform. But I think generally where you take deposits and you lend money, and whether they're small loans or big loans, I think that's where a credit union would be the logical entity. So,
Anything else? Wes?
Yes, I know we went over all the different regulations that you're going to have to go through. And Mississippi, the Biloxi, Mississippi casino, it's not having to follow compliance of NIGC, right?
it's Tunica, Mississippi.
Tunica,
Yeah,
sorry,
Tunica.
Tunica.
But no, it's regulated by the Mississippi Gaming Commission, Mississippi Gaming
Right.
Regulations.
Under NIGC, there's only 5 ways to invest in profit, which would guarantee the protection of how that money gets invested from its profit back to the tribe and to its people. Is there an agreement set up between our outfit that's running the casino there and Cherokee Nation businesses and the government, so we know that we're following the same compliance regulations on how those funds are going to be invested, or is it just kind of an array of investments that's going to be able to be utilized from those profits?
No, the outfit that's running it is us. So C&E is operating it just like if we went down the street to the Tahlequah Casino. So that is all Cherokee Nation
Right.
Entertainment, which is wholly owned by Cherokee Nation businesses. So all of the central treasury, we have a central treasury with all of our casinos, including Gold Strike. So that's our own oversight, is the assurance that the money is spent or set aside for the Cherokee people.
Okay, so those revenues that will come in when we go to invest it, they'll go back into that 5-path formula that NIGC is allowing us to invest those funds on behalf of the tribe.
Ultimately, those are the beneficiaries, exactly.
Okay, and then what's the tax percentage to the state of Mississippi on the revenue?
Well, it depends on what tax too. With much of the revenue, we're tax exempt.
Okay,
And I would have to get the scaled tax rates for you, because I don't know them offhand.
okay, perfect. If you don't mind sending that
Sure.
over when you get that chance, to be great.
Yeah.
And then what's our projected taxable revenue that we're probably going to see since we've now taken over an operation? Like, what's the revenue probably, or overall income coming in that we're seeing within the first year?
I would love to. I will be happy to give you that information. I'd prefer not to do it on YouTube. Right. I mean, we have a lot of competitors in Tunica and West Memphis and Biloxi that would, but I'd love to walk you through that.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
I'm not trying
Completely
to be,
understand that. And then on the last two questions, not to take up any more time, because I know we just talked about it here. With these banks that have kind of shut down over this past weekend, not saying anything or try to create any kind of disturbance, but when you've seen those banks collapse, it kind of reminds you of 2008, and I know that we're a lot more resistant to a recession here in Oklahoma. How did that affect the casino market back in 2008? Did it take much of I don't remember, I haven't
Yeah.
looked at it and how it's going to be, or if we're expecting that maybe to affect us. If we were starting to feel that a little bit of tension, do we expect much of it on the gambling side?
Yeah, so it did affect the gaming industry to some degree, and I can't really give you percentages,
Right.
but 08, 09, in that area, it wasn't as significant as people were concerned that it would be.
Right.
But it did have an impact, because that was a very broad, as you point out, it's a very broad impact at that time, just to the economy as a whole. You have Lehman Brothers going down,
Right.
Bear Stearns, all those guys. And that's why we keep a close eye on it, we just
Right,
haven't
right.
seen it yet. We just
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
But as far as what we're set for right now there, if that was to happen, we feel pretty confident with our job sustainability with our employees and stuff like that. I believe we are.
Yeah.
Based off our holdings that you just mentioned, so I really appreciate you kind of going for that clarification of how our money's invested and where it's held on to, so we're backed by those
Yeah.
bonds, those American
Sure.
bonds, so.
And I just add, is kind of what you're suggesting as well, is that, through diversification, that's that's something we've got to continue to look at. And
Right.
whether it's financial institutions or some
Right.
other business industries, we just got to do that,
Yeah.
And that'll keep us, sustainable for the long haul.
I'm definitely on board for continuing doing that. I know we've talked several times in the past. I know we've got the business contracting venture we got with the new intelligence community that we bought. I hope to see more of those purchases and ideas coming right here to put Cherokees to work here locally on that diversification. But appreciate you being at the helm and being here to answer those questions. So
Thank
appreciate it,
you.
Chair.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Is there anything else? Seeing none, thank you for your,
All right, absolutely.
Work.
Thank you all. Appreciate the opportunity.
Treasurer Taylor.
Good afternoon. How are y'all today?
Good.
I did notice that our report did not make it into your book. I'm not sure why that is. It should be in the financial package that you received separately, but if it's not, I do have a couple of copies here. We turned it in. I don't know why it didn't get in the book. And similar to what Chuck G. said, we just did our close last Friday, so updated information is not in your books. And I also do kind of want to piggyback on something he said regarding the investments. My position has always been that I'd rather stand here and tell you why I earned 3% versus 5% than why I lost all your money. So we do have a very conservative investment approach to make sure that we preserve our funds to keep serving the Cherokee people.
Thank
So-
you. We have several pieces of legislation here that are dealing with donations and then dealing with the letter of credit. And are those things that need to go to full council tonight?
I would like all of them, the budget mods also, to go to
Okay.
full council tonight, simply because of the time frame. It just allows us to keep rolling
Okay,
with what we're doing.
excellent. Thank you.
That's okay.
Any questions? All right, thank you. Who's representing Career Services? Hi, Corey.
I'm back. I believe you have Diane Kelly's Career Services Report, and would be glad to field any questions. I told Diane I'll make sure that she watches the video in case you do have questions.
You're not professing to be able to answer them, it appears.
I am not, but I will tell you, our career services staff, they're excellent, and they go above and beyond day and night and weekends, and I'd like to just give them a little shout out on this video. So thank you, career services staff.
Absolutely. Are there any questions we need to give Corey today? All right, thank you, Corey.
You're welcome.
And who will be representing Commerce today?
And I will be in tonight as well, I guess.
Well, that saves us time, doesn't it?
Yes. I'd also like to commend the career services staff.
How about Commerce? You want to commend them?
I meant commerce staff.
I was prepared to meet
yeah,
him, but he's doing such
yeah.
a good job. I'll give it to him.
All right. Any questions for Commerce today? I see none.
Okay, well, thank you, guys.
Thank both those staffs. That moves us to our consent items. We have, as usual, a long list of consent items, and you've all been supplied those in advance. So with no opposition, we will move forward.
Chair,
Yes.
I do have some additions to the roads
Okay.
that come in late. Bethel, under motor fuel tax, Bethel and Fog Hollow, District 8, 174,000 plus. And under motor vehicle tax, I've got two projects. People's Community Center, Bowling Springs, under District 11 for 281,000 plus. And England Hollow Road Overlay for District 7, 113,000 plus.
All right. So you've got that information now. No opposition anywhere. We'll move forward to our other items today, our new business items. We have no old business. We do have some new business, though. New business item number one, Counselor Vasquez, would you take that? Yes.
I just wondered, in the interest of time, if it would be appropriate to, if we could take these items in toto, would that suit everyone?
I would certainly want to do the donations that way, but the capital mods, I'd like to keep those separated.
Okay.
Counselor Vasquez, would you enter that with all three of the donation items?
Sure. Do you want me to read the three or just read?
Just items number 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay. So I may move for approval?
Two,
Items one,
I'm
two,
sorry, 2.
One and two?
Yes. 1 and 2.
Got it.
By the time we get dealing with this, we could have read them both, huh?
We did it.
We
I
did it.
motion, he second.
We got a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. All right, those both passed. Thank you. That'll move us to number 3, which is, let's see here. Rex, would you enter that?
Sure. This is a resolution authorizing a letter of credit, LOC, for the collateral requirements for the Tribal Controlled Insurance Program, TCIP, on the new hospital construction project. Now, put that in the form of a motion.
All right, we've got a first and a second there. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you all. Number 4, Counselor Sam, would you take that?
This is an act amending Legislative Act 29-22, authorizing a comprehensive capital budget for fiscal year 2023, Mod 5, and declaring an emergency. And I put this in form of a motion.
All right. Do we have any questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Then number 5, Counselor Patskowski, would you take that?
Yes, an act amending Legislative Act 30-22, authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2023, Mod 6, and declaring an emergency, and I put that in the form of a motion.
All right. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign. All right, that takes us to announcements. Next meeting is tentatively scheduled for April 27th at 3 p.m. Anybody else? All right.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.